I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I'm delighted to welcome Dr. Jane Abucha. She is the resilient author of From Start to Finish. Through this compelling memoir, she chronicles her incredible journey from being a certified nursing assistant to achieving her second doctorate MD degree in the USA, all while navigating challenges as a single mother and defying societal expectations. With unwavering determination, the doctor's story serves as a beacon of inspiration for those who believe it is never too late to pursue your dreams. We're delighted to have the doctor join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Doctor, so good to see you today. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
This is quite an incredible journey that you had. Why don't we start at the beginning? Where do you feel like your story actually begins, taking you from, being a young woman to the woman you are today?
So my story begins in South Sudan, a war-torn zone where I was born. I was born during the war, grew up during the war, got married and gave birth to my kids during the war, and left during the war.
Mm-hmm.
So there were 17-year war and then 21-year civil war. But really what inspired me was my aunt. She was a Sacred Heart sister, and she was a nurse. At the age of 7, 8, I used to go and help her arrange chairs. Mm-hmm. And that motivation came from when she used to come and deliver women in the neighborhood and help people in the neighborhood do wound dressings, give injections. And I would see that art of what she does. And I thought I could do that. Mm. So by arranging chairs at the clinic and doing that, I was able to give an eyeball to see what they were doing and see if it really interested me. But I never put 2 to 2 together until I was in high school. Again, the Second World tore every one of us apart. I had to go to Juba, which is now the capital of South Sudan. My parents were scattered all over in Eastern Equatoria, and I was the only child who made it there. And I was 16. I had to go get a job because I lived with my aunt and I had one dress and they did not want to give me anything. So I had to go get a job, and they said, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 16 years old. They said, "You can't have the job. And this is a nursing job." So I had to go to the medical commission to get an assessment of age certificate that says I'm 18 so that I can get the job. So the job was nursing training. So you get into the training to do the nursing school. So it was a diploma course in this nursing. So that's where my story begins.
Yeah. And obviously it's a world of a difference from being a certified nursing assistant to being a doctorate. I guess you learned along the way, education was your key to success, right?
I knew that education was going to be the key to my success. And when we arrived here in the United States, I was already an RN in Sudan. Mm-hmm. And I did medical assistant training. In the African countries, medical assistant is higher than the RN. Mm-hmm. So I did that, which is a clinician. And then I came to the United States as a refugee. Right. Life was hard. They didn't take my documents. And they evaluated one of my documents and gave me an equivalent associate degree. So I went back to school to start from associate degree and everything else. Mm. But apart from that, we had the Lost Boys of Sudan that came ahead before me. And I had the opportunity to serve with them as a member of board of directors. And they had one slogan: education is our mother and our father. Without this education, we cannot move forward. And all the sponsors were helping the Lost Boys in education. Mm. And to date, a lot of them managed to succeed because of education. So I took that opportunity, despite everybody said, "You're a mother with 6, 7 kids, you cannot do that." I had 7 kids. Mm-hmm. One died, and I have 6. And then I adopted 2 children from my husband's sister, and I brought them with me to the United States. So everybody said, you can't do it. And I said, I will try. If I cannot, then I will stop, but I will give it a try. So the first summer I went to school, that was 2004, and it was Glendale Community College, a psychology class, which is in summer. It took me literally 5 to 10 minutes to say, I will stay in this school and I will stay in the class. The teacher started with the introduction, and somebody said I'm 58, somebody said I'm 35, somebody said I'm 24, and somebody said I'm 40. And I said, this is where I fit.
Yeah.
Because if somebody is 58 and is in this class, I can do it. That's when I really brought my inspiration of education and started putting it to work.
Right. Right.
That sealed it for me.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing you were able to get the education you received, considering you did or do have so many children. I mean, I lost count when you were saying it. You have 6 plus 2 you adopted, right? So you have 8 children?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Amazing.
2
Amazing.
girls and 6 boys.
Amazing. Amazing. And so how did you find the time to juggle everything and do everything, take care of them, do your schoolwork? Obviously, you know, advanced degrees, are quite rigorous as well.
It wasn't easy. By then, my husband was still here with us. He was homesick.
Mhm.
And he couldn't handle jobs because his documents were not accepted as well. So he had to do security jobs or case management jobs that didn't really pay much. So he wasn't up to really working. So I had one full-time job and a part-time job. And my youngest child was when we arrived here, he was about 7 months. So he was still breastfeeding, but I had to go to a full-time job and a part-time job. And that helped me for a little while. By the time we went into separation in the process of divorce, I had to remain by myself. My elder son was 13 years old. So the choice came down to that he would sleep with the kids at home and I would go to work at night. Oh. So I started working at night and it didn't help. They were getting sick and everything was happening. So I went to working as a bailer. In the nursing profession, you have CNAs and nurses that work as a bailer. The bailer means that you work 16 hours on Saturday and 16 hours on Sunday. Wow. So that Monday to Friday, you can watch the kids. So I leave very early in the morning at 5 in the morning and I come back at midnight. So for Saturday and Sunday, and the kids should have the opportunity to dance the house from the roof to the bottom. And then I have Monday to Friday to take them to school, to bring them back, to help them with their homework. And in that process, I found out that I can go to school. So that's the opportunity that I found, that I can work as a bailiff full-time, get my insurance and everything from work, and be able to go to school. And that's how I went to school. Because I took them to school, I also took myself to school. And
on the weekends, you worked around the clock, basically.
And I worked around the clock.
Every waking hour you worked and came home, slept, went back to work every waking hour. Correct. Do you think you worked very, very hard? I think I worked hard in my career. You worked harder. You've already topped me there.
Because I didn't know how to work smarter.
Right, right. But you were doing what you had to do. I mean, obviously you were a refugee to this country. You had a lot of children to take care of. You had a husband who wasn't able to support the family. And so you did what you had to do at that time. And eventually you learned to work smarter because you learned the importance of those degrees and how that could help you, in your race to success, right?
Yes and no. So the way I did, everything was good until I got to the higher level. Then I found out, some jobs do not even want to hire some people with a higher degree.
Right.
So that felt to me that I didn't work really smarter, because now some places would not hire me, that they would hire me for my part-time and I would get some extra money.
Right.
Secondly, in the community and in the family, it put me into another section that everybody had to look up to me for financial support.
Right.
And that took me also to another route where I did not expect, but I
Right.
was able to manage it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then then my husband went home and then we lost him.
Right.
And he died. So that became another whole challenge.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. What do you hope people get from your story? I know they'll learn about you, but I know you want them to learn about themselves as well in reading your story.
So several things that I usually encourage people. And I started this by encouraging youth. I go to several high schools here in Phoenix every year to talk to students the importance of going to nursing career and healthcare careers, that there is a need for technical people, and you will always have a job that you will be able to bring food on the table and have a roof on top of your kids. Mm-hmm. But I found that I needed to do more. And that's where I started to write down and journaling and writing down things, is that I wanted to let a lot of people in the same situation like me to understand that there is options. Mm-hmm. And there is resources out there that support women, girls, youth, and refugees that they can tap into and make use of. People don't know about this. When you come out of another country, for example, you come from my country, in the third world country, you're a woman, you're married, you give birth to a child, you're already condemned. Nobody thinks that you're any good to be in the classroom. Nobody thinks that there's any good will come out of you. And that is in a lot of different cultures. But when you come to the United States, I want women to think that they are productive members of the society. They can make their homes better and they can make their children grow better and stronger. By educating yourself, you know how to help your child in homework. By educating yourself, you know the things and understand what the children are going through in school. For example, your child comes back from school, just asking the question, how was your day in school, will make you understand what is this child going through and what are the needs that need to be met by the teacher and me as a parent. So lots of refugees out there and other ethnicities that do not know that they can do it, I wanted them to know that there is a way. If they have the will, there is a way. They can do it. If Absolutely. I can do it, they can do it.
Yeah. If you have determination, if you have motivation, if you're willing to work hard, the United States is still the land of dreams, don't you think?
Correct.
Yeah.
If I can achieve my dreams, I didn't even think that I will be way half even my dream. But I had to come through a quote from Mahatma Gandhi in India, says actually, dreams don't die. People die and leave their dreams out because they are too hesitant to pursue it.
Yeah.
So I said, this guy knew it. This is me.
Yeah.
So let me work on it. Yeah. So there are people out there like that we can encourage them, we can support them, we can show them where the resources are. Like when I was new here as a refugee, somebody told me, said, hey, the Women Resource Center in Phoenix downtown can help you write a resume. They can give you clothes to put on to go for an interview so you can get a job.
Yeah.
So these small things can help improve your life and propel you to the next level.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's a true American story. It's an immigration story. My wife, similar things, came from China, 25 years ago with $800 and was mentored by people, got her education at Columbia. And, like you, went from having nothing to having a lot because of hard work, determination, and, some people who helped her along the way. And that's for sure. Right. Well, this book is very inspirational. It is called From Start to Finish. It is a compelling memoir that chronicles the doctor's incredible journey from being a certified nursing assistant to achieving her second doctorate MD degree here in the United States. Dr. Jane Abucha, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
You're welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I enjoyed our talk very much.
Sharing my story.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think a lot of people will learn from it. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time. This time until next time on Spotlight.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.